first rattlesnake in the Sonoran Desert, and it is a very amazing rattlesnake.
Beautiful rattlesnake.
Yes.
Yeah, go ahead.
This is what's known as a Mojave rattlesnake. They're very closely related to Crotalus atrox, which is the western diamondback. In fact, they're super hard to distinguish. There are a couple of ways you can tell. This snake has a special place in my heart because it was actually the first snake that I located when I came out west for the first time. And it's John's first snake that he located.
My very first Mojave rattlesnake, and I am totally stoked. And we weren't even driving on the road. We were just basically hiking back this little trail, and she was sitting off on this little trail. There she is, beautiful snake. God, look at her, beautiful snake. She was sitting off on this trail in a perfectly coiled position.
She was in ambush. She was in ambush mode.
So she was in hunting mode, most definitely in hunting mode. And you got to be so careful with these snakes because they have a very, very powerful hemotoxic and neurotoxic venom, and they are fast. They're not really like the rattlesnakes and the venomous snakes that you find on the East Coast, that we're used to, where we're from. They are very hyperactive snakes because it's so hot here all the time. I mean, it's 10 o'clock at night and it's probably over 90 degrees, and they don't really come out during the day. In fact, they don't come out during the day at all because temperatures here can range from 110 degrees Fahrenheit, which is about 42 degrees Celsius, upwards of 125 degrees Fahrenheit.
It's unusual to reach that high, but John said something interesting. A really interesting fact about the snake is that it does have both a hemotoxic and neurotoxic venom, and the scientific name for this animal is Crotalus scutellatus, and it's like I said, they look very similar to western rattlesnakes. The way you can tell the difference is if you look at the top of the head.
Yeah,
we'll show you here in a second. She's just now starting to calm down, kind of wearing her out a little bit. The top of the head has two plates that are much larger. They're much larger on this animal than they are on Crotalus atrox, which would be the western diamondback. The western diamondback has a lot of smaller scales in between the eyes. Also, the tail bandings, they have like a sort of raccoon-looking tail. The tail bandings, usually there's a lot more white on the Mojave than on the western diamondback.
Yeah, and like they're so hard to tell the difference because, and I know it's dark and it's hard to see, but her back pattern is very much diamond. It's a diamond shape on her back. Sorry, sweetie. So she's just letting me know she's getting agitated. You really, really have to pay attention to the body language, both visually what she's doing and also feeling what she's doing. So what she did there when I held her.
Let's bring her back so she's in the shot.
What she did when I was holding her is she just really quickly, like, almost flexed her body. And that's just agitation. And another classic thing that pit vipers do is they'll just coil themselves up in this tight S position. And it just allows them the ability to strike and strike fast. And of course, with rattlesnakes, they have that iconic rattle that lets you know that they're upset. They're not happy with what's going on. But eventually with most snakes, they get to the point where they understand we aren't gonna hurt them, we aren't going to eat them. And you can't hear it, but something that she's doing that I have never encountered with any snake is she's hissing.
Well, we encounter it in hognose.
Yeah, I've never encountered it.
It's more of a heavy breathing.
Yeah, it's like a heavy sigh. And I've never encountered a snake that has done that. So it's I'm gonna try to get a little bit closer so you can get a good visual of her face.
You might be asking, you said hemotoxic and neurotoxic venom. What that means is the hemotoxic venom is tissue destroying. So this snake hits you, you get a double dose of, you get a cocktail of venom. First, you're gonna be sorry about the hemotoxic venom, which destroys your blood vessels, your tissue. And then you have to worry about the neurotoxic venom, which will affect your respiratory and breathing. you know, a lot of people actually die from this snake from respiratory failure before the necrosis and the nasty infection sets in later on. So it's like, if you're bitten by a Mojave, it's crucial. You need to get to the hospital immediately.
Yeah.
It's the most dangerous rattlesnake in the world, hands down.
Easily.
In fact, arguably, probably more dangerous than the coral snake.
Yeah.
A lot of people that get bit by this snake have trouble recovering.
Yeah, and these guys, they are far more inclined to bite than the coral snake. The elapids that are not vipers. They're just.
Here, let me see it, John. So, my first encounter with the Mojave almost ended in me getting bit. Thankfully, I wasn't bit. Right now, she really just wants to be on her way.
Yeah, and as you can see, she has no interest in biting. She hasn't even shown any interest in striking at us. All she has done is coiled herself up in a tight position to let us know that, hey, I can strike, I can bite, and she's rattled her tail to let us know that she's agitated. She hasn't once tried to bite or do anything like that, and that's because they don't want to use their venom on us. She does not want to use her venom on us because venom to them is a very valuable resource. They need it to hunt, they need it to eat, they need it to survive. So she's not going to waste it on us if she doesn't have to, but very cool snakes, very cool snakes.
Oh, heck yes they are. So, John, you want to pick up that camera and follow me and we'll go and release her?
Absolutely.
Awesome. All right, sweetheart. So we're going to release this girl right now.
It's getting really windy.
Yeah.
All right, sweetie.
Right here's perfect. This is where I found her at.
Nice little spot.
And we have a car coming. So,
All right, baby.
all right, sweetheart. Good luck. Good hunting, bud. Hi, guys. I hope you can see him okay. What I have here is a desert tarantula, which they aren't actually true tarantulas. They're theraphospids. But that's what people commonly call them, are tarantulas. And if I think this is actually a male wandering, looking for a female. Females get bigger, and during this time, the males tend to be a little more aggressive than the females. These are a venomous species, like all spiders are, but they don't tend to be all that aggressive. Hey, bud. I'm not familiar with the scientific name of this spider, but you see all these hairs on his abdomen there? Those are uricating hairs, and whenever they're mad, they'll use these hind legs here and they'll flick them off, and they're very, they can get into your skin and they're very irritating. Now, the venom that this guy has isn't all that bad. Woo! Don't go in my butt. Oh God, John. Where is he? Where's the tarantula at, dude?
Here, keep turning around. Keep turning to your right.
Okay, all right.
You're turning to your left.
I see him. No, don't. As soon as they see dark holes, they tend to jet for them. Little dude, what are you doing? They do have a painful bite, but like I said, their venom isn't all that potent. Cool thing about tarantulas are they taste with their feet. Oh God, that would be a painful bite if he bit me there.
He bite you?
Yeah, a little bit. He kind of tagged me. Ooh, they're painful. Yeah, like the females, I don't have any problem letting the females crawl on me because they're not as mean. They tend to be more placid. See how he's sticking his abdomen up in the air, ready to flick those hairs. All right, buddy, I'll leave you alone. You've made your point clear. Then you got me in a tender spot too. It's like a bee sting, like a honeybee almost.
All right, guys, so what we have found here is probably one of the most iconic rattlesnakes of the American Southwest, and it is the Western Diamondback rattlesnake. And of course, you can see why they're called Western Diamondbacks. They have that classic diamond pattern going along their back. And these guys resemble very closely to another very prevalent rattlesnake in this area, which is the Mojave rattlesnake. They have the same pattern going along their back. They even have the same raccoon tail. From my experience, Mojaves seem to have more of like the black bands on their tail seem to be thinner. But the most telltale sign is that the Mojaves have these big, large scales, two big, large scales in between their eyes, which this guy does not. So that's pretty indicative of a Western Diamondback. Now this guy, he is pretty young, and you can see him rattling his tail, yet there's no sound associated with it. There's no rattle. And that's just because of wear and tear. Something probably got him at some point. And it looks like maybe he has one little button on the end of his tail, but he's shaking it, he's wagging it as fast as he can go. And I can feel it on the end of my hook, but there's just not enough rattles there for it to make that iconic rattlesnake rattle. This guy is just awesome. Very venomous. You want to be careful with him. And he's probably too small and too defensive to handle at the moment. You know, I personally like working with larger venomous snakes than I do smaller ones, because the smaller they are, the easier it is for them to turn back on you.
Okay.
Yeah, just filming a rattlesnake.
Yeah, filming a rattlesnake. As you can see, not everyone shares our passion, but that's why we do this. We love them. We want people to understand them better. They're not once has this guy tried to attack me. In fact, all he's tried to do since we've caught him was get away. Western Diamondback. Awesome. Such an awesome, awesome little Western Diamondback rattlesnake. Just sitting perfectly, and look at that little tail. He's got like one button on his tail. He's just adorable. He's trying so hard to warn us with that little tail. I can't get over it. It's so cute.
These guys.
You're
All-American classic.
You're a true rattlesnake. You are a real rattlesnake, even though you don't have any rattles.
All right, guys. This is absolutely awesome. This lizard is known as the Gila monster. And I did not think that I would be seeing one of these guys. I had hoped that I'd be seeing one. It was definitely at the top of my list of reptiles I wanted to see. This is a Gila monster. This is a lizard. It is a venomous lizard, and it is native throughout the southwestern U.S. It's native to northern Mexico, and it is one of two venomous lizards in North America. So they have a very close relative called the beaded lizard, the Mexican beaded lizard. Very close relative. So I'm stoked. I can't believe it. They love this scrubland, this desert scrubland. They are ground dwelling, with exceptions at night. They'll remain under burrows, thickets, rock shelters, things of that nature during the day, and then they'll come out here at night to hunt. And they have a very wide variety of different prey items that they eat, and it includes small birds, small mammals, frogs, lizards, insects, things of that nature. They've even been known to eat eggs. They are very, very opportunistic, and what's really cool about these guys is they have a very powerful venom, and from what I've heard, the toxicity of their venom is somewhat similar to that of a Western Diamondback, only it's delivered in smaller doses. So they are very fierce. They have a fearsome reputation, but they don't deliver as much venom. It's just a beautiful animal. God, he's beautiful. Thanks for watching, guys. This has been awesome.